Good morning, everyone. Watchwoman Warrior here. Now, I'm coming on today with an update. Some of this you guys might already know, but I'm still doing this anyways because, of course, we have more happening. The war on the non-VED people has begun, and it started with our Prez. Excuse me. I've already had 2 videos taken down. So I'm hoping that I can effectively do this one without it getting taken down. The reason you don't see me is because I got a new desktop and it does not have a camera. But that's okay. I'm not here for you to see my face anyways. I'm here to give a message. I'm the messenger, so don't shoot me. But I praise God that He has me doing this because there are very few and far between people out there that are actually speaking truth. Now, here, we're going to go to Israel. And as you can read, yeah. Now, the health ministry has called for non-inoculated staff to be kept away from highest risk wards. Jerusalem's Hadassah has gone a step further, barring contact with all patients. Now, Tuesday disagreed that unVED medical staff can no longer treat patients. The hospital told workers that as of Sunday, doctors and nurses who have taken the shot or acquired some level of immunity by recovering from the will find themselves resigned to administrative roles or any other position that the hospital sees fit. Quote unquote. We can turn nurses and doctors into administrators or put them in any other jobs we find around the hospital. A Hadassah spokeswoman told the Times of Is, adding that they will continue to be paid their regular salaries. However, around 5% of medical staff at the hospital, some 300 people currently lack immunity from V or from VI recovery. The announcements came in the heels of Health Ministry directive that calls for un-V staff and students to be barred from working in certain departments across Israeli hospitals and in community healthcare. They include wards of people in a state of immunosuppression, including oncology, preterm infants, and bone marrow transplant patients. The Health Ministry directive also stated, quote, a new employee who refuses to be VED should not be hired at a medical institution. It said unVED employees should only be allowed to work in CV wards if they sign a special waiver. In other words, if we put you in there where you can get infected from somebody else, it's okay. But for you who's not been and will not be because you refuse the narrative and you follow the one true creator, you are banned. You're taken literally. This is in Israel. This is in Israel. It's supposed to be the Holy Land. The land after the one true God Almighty. But yeah, here we got. If you refuse to be an experiment that will end your life, and that is spiritually, the directive will be enforced by the ministry at government-owned hospitals, while others are urged to comply. The ministry said workers at government hospitals will also be summoned to immunization clinic to be informed of the potential medical consequences of their failure to be an experiment. The directive has prompted a flurry of meetings in hospitals with directors debating if and when to implement the policy, given that some staff are still being actually done. The matter is still under discussion at Sheba Medical Center. Israel's largest hospital. A spokesman told the Times of Israel on Tuesday. Okay. CEO Ziv Rostin said he had considered the issue and decided that patient rights trump the choice of staff to shun the V's, given that the weakened public must be protected. Okay, so now we see that you're not allowed to work in a public place around people unless you take the experiment. Okay. Oops. Hang on. What'd I do? Oh, come on. I've done this before. Oh, there. Yes. Thank you, Lord. Okay. Now. Okay, but said that the health of patients comes first. He noted that the employees who have a special reason for non-vaccinating will be given special permission to work with patients. Yeah, there's one problem with that. They're not going to be able to be exempt because if the people that's running the show in the Holy Land are forcing it on the workers in the hospitals because you need to have your brain mushed up to be able to work for them so that way you comply with everything because you have no thoughts of your own. Anyways, yeah, they're making it sound innocent, but it's really not. Where is it? Okay, maybe it's not in this. Okay, so we see here, this is out of the Holy Land. Out of Israel. March 2nd, 2021. So this is a while ago, actually. I didn't even notice the date until now. So this has been happening. So that's why it's going over into our country. Oh, right here. We won't force it. But here's what we will do. Health and Ministry Director claims won't be forced, but Dr. Eyal Zimlichman tells Knesset committee they'll understand themselves. And this was November of 2020. So still another date I didn't notice. And so this is a while ago. And this is also out of the Holy Land. And here's, although Health Ministry Director Hezi Levy yesterday insisted to reporters that we won't force people to take it, Israel law doesn't allow for it. Speaking before the special Knesset Coronavirus Committee, chaired by whatever Yafat Shashat Biton, Sheba Medical Center Chief, same medical center, Medical Officer and Chief Innovation Center Yal Zimlichman listed measures that are being planned to maneuver the population into V as a way of regaining freedom of movement. Okay, the issue of how to motivate V compliance has generated increasing interest with commentators such as Mike Kornovich writing, "Government won't force you to take it. Amazon will. Airlines will. Banks will. You won't be able to buy, sell, or trade without it." See? This is what I needed back when I first started these videos. Way after. See, this is November. This is a year ago. Okay, 10 months ago. 10 months ago, they were already motivating everybody and saying, boom, right there, mark of the beast. And they said out their own mouths, without it, you cannot. You won't be able. And this is out of Israel, God's holy land, where it all begins. As if underscoring whatever words Dr. Blah Blah told the committee, another thing that will apparently come into our lives starting in small numbers already in January, which is soon, and that's the bleh. If we're discussing on how to create motivation for citizens I agree. You can't force the population. It won't work. We can talk about it until tomorrow. It won't work. What is possible is to create motivation. Whoever will automatically receive green status. Green for go, the Green New Deal. Therefore, you may and receive a green status to go freely in all the green zones. They'll open for you cultural events. They'll open to you the shopping malls, hotels, and restaurants. You may decide you're not, that if you do want to enter these areas, you'll need to submit a PCR test, which will be infected just for you. And therefore, I believe people will understand by themselves that the V will return them to regular life. And they'll be themselves without our obligating them. But the idea we're putting out is actually something that's starting already now. And we're floating an initial pilot. We're floating an initial pilot we're testing and are ready to start with. Strange. So the idea they're putting out now, which is creating motivation, is already started. And we're floating an initial pilot we're testing and are ready to start with. So they've already tested their creation of motivation, and they've already started. It's already out there. But they're just now telling you. And this was how long ago? How long ago was this? Wow, November. Wow. Interesting. Anyways, so they already got their creation in process. They've already tested it, and they're already bringing it out before they even did this article. Based on the PCR and based on antigen, assuming it will be authored by the health ministry, we are in the process with the ministry and, of course, serology, and very quickly, already from January, to add the V's. Whoever is V'd may enter those green areas, that safe zone. I wonder what the safe zones are. Everything of the world, I'm sure, like the drag queen shows and such. Make sure you get your V for that, because they just had a freaking pride rally in Tel Aviv. Okay, assuming we're discussing a protracted period when part of the population will be V'd and part won't, for a year even, we see those areas growing in size, and those people who are blank receive the pass to enter those green areas in the city from the south and the north of the country. Like the Lord said, come out of Babylon, my people, for you do not want to be partakers in her abomination. Yeah, it won't force you to take it. Amazon will, airlines will, banks will. You won't be able to buy or sell or trade without it. Boom! There's your proof. And that was November of last year. Jeepers. Wish I would have found that back then, because then I wouldn't have been just telling you. The Lord is telling me to tell you. I would have had it right here from the horse's mouth. Next, our own country. And this is most recent. Sorry about my sarcasm. It just really, really, really frustrates me that this crap right here is even, it's happening. Like literally. In our own country. The same person who hated the country of Israel is now complying with the beast system that started there. Now let's listen to the war on the children of God, because only the true believers in the one true God are the ones that are refusing to subject themselves to Caesar. Render to Caesar what is Caesar's. Render to God what is God's. I do not belong to Caesar. My body does not belong to Caesar. My soul does not belong to Caesar. They can have their abomination, but I'll be damned if I ever let it enter me. I gave into their crap a long time ago and became a heroin addict. And guess what? I praise God I learned my lesson back then. Oh yeah, speaking of which, let me show you something. They don't seem to be worried about a virus. they're actually zombies. Like, and yeah, see right there, right on the streets, broad daylight. Oh, this is just yesterday, 11 hours ago. And the government, the governor, this nation is giving it to them for free. These guys aren't dying from any strange disease. These people aren't dying because of a virus. No. They're being given drugs for free. But they're telling us we have to inject ourselves with their stuff so we can become just like this. You know? Hang on. Skip this ad. This is what they want us to be, guys. Oh, wait, he had one. No. Yeah, pick. You see? And that. This is hard to watch, guys. Like, seriously. I've laid awake at night thinking about these people. It literally. Zombies. Zombies. Streets. It's like the apocalypse, pretty much. Only these people are all junked out, drugged out, see, sleeping, standing up. And the people that run these areas are willingly giving it to them. They give it to them. They help them. They set up shops and everything for them. There's even a couple of these videos that you'll watch. You see an officer sitting in the booth right next to a group of them while the deal's going on. And they want us to worry about having our faces covered with a diaper. Look at that. And they want us to worry about some kind of supposed virus. Well, this is the America that would most likely go first because of the health condition they're all... Look, she's pregnant. See? Right there. Hang on, let's rewind that for a second. So you can see that? Oh, hang on. Poor lady, she's pregnant. Craziness. Look, that person right there, like, God only knows if they're dead. They could be. Look at that. She passed right out in the chair. And believe me, that's not because she's tired. You know, and this is, look at that. Yep. People walking by like she's not even there. Walking by all these people as if they're not even there. And they want us to trust them when they're the ones that created this? They created this. What she's on was created by them and given by them. Think we've seen enough of that. I already read that one. Now let's listen to the war on those who refuse to inject themselves with their junk. Literally, junk. They're needle junkies. That's all they care about. I am no needle junkie, never was, never will be.
Study after study after study has shown that since early May, virtually every COVID-19 hospitalization and death in the United States has been among the unvaccinated.
Really? Interesting. Let's see if we can find proof of that, shall we? Charts and graphs showing... Oops. Showing deaths of versus... And I've already tried to do this, guys, and I got nowhere. You cannot find graphs or charts on the actual rates of death from infection of those with or without. See, reduction. See, reduction. Wait, 35,000 per week out of... Okay, well, see, that didn't help me any. I want vaccinated versus non-vaccinated. Like, let's see. You can't find it. You cannot... See, it'll pop up here. Let's go to the CDC, which I've already done. CDC. Oh, really? Now I can't even go to the CDC website? Really? Okay. Let's do it this way. There we go. Okay. Charts on deaths of dang it, come on. Let's try this one. Oh, and available data files. Let's go back one. See? They're keeping track. So it's taking a second to load for me. New upgraded computer system that can actually run a Minecraft server that can hold up to 30 people does not have a problem with loading a single page. Okay. Index of available data file. I don't care about the methods. I want to see the charts. Cause of death. Okay, as of June 3rd, 2020, weekly counts of death due to select cause of death are presented. These causes were selected based on analysis of comorbid conditions reported on death certificates where CV was listed as a cause of death. Okay, some causes with insufficient numbers of death by week and jurisdiction were combined with other categories, and one cause was added to the Alzheimer's disease and dementia category. These estimates are based on the underlying cause of death and include respiratory disease, circulatory disease, malignant neoplasms, and Alzheimer's disease and dementia. ICD-10 codes were used to classify deaths according to the following causes. Respiratory, influenza, which seemed to fall off the face of the earth as soon as this other crap came. You know, J9, J18 chronic, other diseases, all these. Circulatory, other, malignant, whatever, Alzheimer, other select cause of death. See, I don't see any of these that say CV. But yeah, look at all. Okay, this is not helping me. See what I mean, guys? Like, I just want a chart. There's a chart, but still, it's like, this is just deaths from all cases. And you notice one thing? We started with the jab. Wait, that's 2018, sorry. Right around in here. January, February, right? And then all of a sudden, boom. Explosion. Another thing too. Hang on, let me see if I can. Let's just do charts. Defining cases. Alright, seasonal base, epidemic threshold, mortality peak. This is the flu. Huh. Okay, it still isn't. I mean, they make it look real good, don't they? But when you inject people with stuff that's going to kill them, that tends to happen. Alright, so enough of that. As we can see, we can't... Science agenda? Okay, well, anyways... Let's go back to this.
So, if you're vaccinated, you're protected. But if you're unvaccinated, you're not.
But you can't find any proof on it.
More importantly, maybe from your perspective, your family and your friends at risk. So please get vaccinated now.
Okay, I gotta chime in there. Because I have family members that have received it. And my family members that have received it have come up positive. So, as far as the proof I've seen with my own eyes, plus I've seen 2 elderly women collapse after receiving it. Not even a half an hour after leaving the doctor's office, they've collapsed. One before my face and the other one right before I showed up at Walmart. She had blood on her and all over the floor from where she busted her arm open, passing out, collapsing after receiving it. Which we're going to get to the signs and symptoms too that they tell you doesn't exist as well. But he, so this is all a BS lie. He's being told exactly what to say. And either side, both sides are just as evil as the other. I don't care what crap they spout.
It works. It's free. It's never been easier. And it's never been more important.
I can't stand listening to him.
For yourself and the people you care about. For your neighborhood. For your country. It sounds corny, but it's a patriotic thing to do.
No, shut up.
Get of the summer to a special focus on 5 ways to make gains in getting those of you who are unvaccinated vaccinated. Because here's the deal. We are continuing to wind down the mass vaccination sites that did so much in the spring to rapidly vaccinate those eager to get their first shot and their second shot, for that matter, if they needed a second. Now we need to go to community by community, neighborhood by neighborhood, and oftentimes door to door, literally knocking on doors to get help to the remaining people protected from the virus.
Yeah, knocking on your door, coming to your community. They just brought it into the school on the 15th. Knocking door to door? Yeah, and guess who's going to be knocking at your door? You know all these concentration camps that got set up everywhere? That's run by FEMA? Yeah. Remember I told you the schools are going to become a trap? Yep, we're starting to see it. Second week in school, in my school, we shut down for a supposed outbreak. Shut down the little school. Left the high school open, even though the high schoolers share the same nurse's office. Yeah. Got a hold of the principal who, oh, well, I care about the children, blah, 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 blah. Then why are you allowing them to bring it into the school when the school's a school? It's for learning, not for setting up shop for the hospitals, not for bringing in the doctors to pretend they're helping when really it's all a narrative to shut down and lock your children into school to make you comply. And if you don't comply, they'll ship you away. Oh, well, we have no choice. Ridiculous. You always have a choice. You have a choice whether you want to go to heaven or you want to go to hell. And anybody who supports this narrative is going to end up burning in hell because they're going to end up taking the mark, which I've already showed you. It is. It is. It is. Israel said it a year ago that it is. How long is everyone going to be deliberately ignorant to the truth? That's what I'm wondering.
Look, equity, equality, it remains at the heart of our responsibility of ensuring the communities that are the hardest hit by the virus have the information and the access to get vaccinated. So, as we shift from these centralized mass vaccination sites where we're doing thousands of people a day, we're going to put even more emphasis on getting vaccinated in your community, close to home, conveniently, and a location you're already familiar with. First thing we're going to do, this includes 42,000 local pharmacies where folks with questions can talk to the pharmacists they know and already have dealt with. These locations overwhelmingly allow you to walk in without an appointment, get the vaccination when you're picking up your prescription or just going in to get your toothpaste or something else you need from a drugstore. Second, my team is going to place renewed emphasis on getting the vaccines to more and more family doctors and healthcare providers, so more Americans can get this shot at their doctor's office from the folks that they know and they trust the most. Third thing we're going to do, we're going to step up efforts to get vaccines to your family doctors and other doctors who serve younger people, so that adolescents ages 12 to 18 can get vaccinated, and as they go for back-to-school checkups or getting ready for the physicals they need for fall sports. Fourth, we're also intensifying our efforts to meet people where they are, outside of their neighborhoods, pharmacies, and doctor's offices. This includes continue to work with employers to make vaccination shots available at work, on a work site if possible, or give their employees paid time off to get vaccinated in a nearby facility. And fifth and finally, we're sending out more mobile clinic units out there to help people at special events, summer festivals, sporting events, as well as places of worship wherever we can find people gathered.
Places of worship. So, yeah. In other words, they're going to start shutting down the churches if they don't start bringing the jab into God's house. Yeah, I wonder where this agenda came from.
In addition to these initiatives to continue to vaccinate the unvaccinated, we're stepping up our preparations to respond to the outbreaks we're going to see among the unvaccinated.
Now, did you hear that? Let me rewind it for a second here. Because he seems to know something that we don't. Listen to what he says, because he seems to know.
Preparations to respond to the outbreaks we're going to see among the unvaccinated. Our preparations to respond to the outbreaks we're going to see among the unvaccinated. For that, we're mobilizing what I'm calling COVID-19 surge response teams. These teams are made up of experts from FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, CDC, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, and elsewhere across our government, other groups. And they're going to help states that have particular problems prevent, detect, and respond to the spread of the Delta variant among unvaccinated people in communities with low vaccination rates.
Now, did you hear that, everybody? Out of the horse's mouth in our own country from our own leader here. Well, he claims to be a leader. They say he's a leader, but he's not the leader. Let's listen to that again. What's going to happen to the unvaccinated?
There are particular problems prevent, detect, and respond to the spread of the Delta variant among unvaccinated people in communities with low vaccination rates. And some states have very low vaccination rates. They're going to be able to we're going to deploy things like testing to expand detection of the virus, medicines to help treat the infected, and we're going to provide federal personnel to fill gaps in staffing and technical experts to help investigate outbreaks.
Federal staffing to help detect the outbreaks. Yeah, gee. Could that have something to do with UPMC bringing it into our schools? Could it have something to do with you're going to literally put government officials, like the CIA and police officers and stuff like that, in our places of business, in our schools and stuff, to force, remember? But we won't force, we will just create, where was it? We will create a reason for them to want to do it. We will create a reason. And he seems to know, somehow he knows, that we're going to have outbreaks amongst the non-Vs. But how would he know that the un-V'd are going to get sick unless they have planned it and created the situation? Like Rael said that they were going to make sure to do a year ago. Fascinating.
Because they're going to happen in states with very low vaccination rates.
Yeah, let's listen to that again.
Investigate outbreaks. Because they're going to happen in staffing and technical experts to help investigate outbreaks. Because they're going to happen in states with very low vaccination rates. It's
going to happen in those very low vaccination rates. He just seems to know it's just going to happen. Okay. All right, see if we can find the states with the lowest. Because I'm curious. Let's see what states they are. Do they happen to be of the opposite party? Oh, well, look at that. Dismiss. Oh, and of course you got all this crap gonna pop up. Okay. Excuse me. Blah, 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 blah. Of course. Yeah, I'm not either, so. Alabama, Mississippi. Good. I'm glad that. Oh, okay. Utah, Tennessee, Georgia, Arkansas, Louisiana. Well, shoot, Louisiana's being destroyed right now due to flooding and stuff. Georgia as well. Tennessee earthquakes and such. Arkansas, I haven't heard from them yet. Indiana, Idaho, and Texas is being inundated with hurricanes and stuff. You know, sometimes I do wonder if some of this weather isn't actually like them helping hype up the situation that's already happening. 9 out of 10 least voted for. Okay. But the thing is they need to get over this. They need to get over it because he's not a savior. He's not. He's definitely not a savior. He was sent by God, yeah, but not as a savior. He was sent as a veil to bring in the son of perdition and the Antichrist beast system. And this will happen again. Only for some odd reason, I'm getting this strong feeling that it will be his wife instead. Or a trans instead. In Israel, I'm pretty sure that when the Antichrist comes, I have a very strong feeling everybody's going to be surprised because it's not going to consider itself male nor female. It's going to consider itself non-binary. It's going to consider it might even freaking be dressed in drag. God only knows. But I have a very strong feeling because wisdom in the Bible is referred to as a woman. Sophia, the AI, is a woman. Sophia means wisdom. So they made the AI Sophia to resemble God's, like the wisdom of the Antichrist, the opposite of God. And of course, those who voted for the pedos are going to support it. So I'm not surprised the whole states that didn't vote for him aren't taking it, which I'm actually happy about that, because they shouldn't take it, because it is the mark of the 666, the Antichrist. Okay, so there's the states. Maine, Connecticut, Vermont, New Mexico. Oh, wait, they have done the most. Maybe that's why Maine's starting to get problems with rain and stuff. Vermont. All these places that are following the narrative, God's going to destroy them all. Just so you know. Straight up. You know, it sucks because I don't see Pennsylvania on here. Where is Pennsylvania? Where is Pennsylvania at? I don't know. They shut down our school because they claimed of a outbreak, which there's no proof of, because I called to see how do I see the proof of this? Like, if that's the case, if you're shutting down the entire little school, elementary school, because of a supposed outbreak, and my child has to stay home and do your job for you for a week, where's the proof of this? You're so worried about the contact tracing and crap. It's all funny. Nobody told me anything. Matter of fact, I found out the morning before they were closing, but yeah, they sent packet home that night saying that here's a packet if we do close, and they sent it already knowing they were closing. And it was literally the week before they're bringing in the shot. So, and it was all, and the reason they didn't shut down the high school was because if the high schoolers were off of school as well, they'd be able to babysit the little schoolers while their parents worked, and it wouldn't be a punishment, and it wouldn't push them to get the VZ. But the thing is, I still don't know how many people actually accepted it.
Bottom line is, my administration is doing everything it can to lead a whole of government response at the federal, state, and local levels to defeat the pandemic.
Federal, state, and local levels to defeat the pandemic, and we already just heard that he's definitely targeting those who refuse to be his experiment.
But we need everyone to do their part. Millions of Americans have already done that. We have to keep it up, though. We have to keep it up till we're finished. Let me close with this. We are emerging from one of the darkest years in our nation's history into a summer of hope and joy, hopefully. Think about where you were last year, where you are today, what you were able to do last year at this time and do today. It's a year of hard-fought progress. We can't get complacent now. The best thing we could do last year at this time and do today. It's a year of hard-fought.
So correct. Hard fart process, because it's a bunch of the wind of crap.
Progress. We can't get complacent now. The best thing you can do to protect yourself and your family and the people you care about the most is get vaccinated.
No.
The best things community can do to protect themselves is to increase vaccination rates.
No.
You can do this.
No.
You can do this.
No.
Let's finish the job. Finish it together.
No.
God bless you all, and please, please get vaccinated.
Disgusts me, because he worships the Antichrist. He worships science. He does not believe in a creator God. He believes in man creation, which is how we're in this mess to begin with. It would not exist if they did not create it. And it's been going on for years. Same with the flu shots. People wouldn't have been dying so easily and so quickly, and all these diseases wouldn't be happening with respiratory and cancer and all this other stuff if they were not using us as experiments since before Hitler reigned. Welcome to the Hitler of the world, because that's where we're at, guys. Next. Now, is this one thing that I did find? Okay, here. See, 60% of peak, 300% per people. See, only 317 per 100,000 people in the last 7 days. But yeah, this is all getting pushed. New York State revised its total fatality count. Woo! Whoop-de-doo. There's more people dying from car accidents, alcoholism, heroin in the streets of Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, both places, than there is from this crap. Huh. Let's see how many overdoses were in America so far this year. I'm curious now, because this is just a bunch of BS. If I ever did hear it, see it, watch it, know it. Ah! Uh-huh. 70,630. Only 1,464. Wait, on August. Okay, hang on. Let me say. Okay, so it's been what, 2 years? So let's go 2 years. Do 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 do. Nearly 841,000 since 1999. 2019, 70,000. Over 70,000. What about 2020? Where's the 2020 statistics here? 2018, 2019. West. Northeast. Really? No 2020? Strange. Okay, so the increased. Really? It's stable. Strange, because I was just showing you videos. If it's stable. Wow. Only one is decreased the whole time. Arkansas, which is also one of the, or Michigan. See, they're doing something right. But everywhere else is increased or supposedly stable. But the stability of Pennsylvania, as I've already showed you, is definitely terrifying. But where's 2020 statistics? '2020, let's see, flu season. Let's see. Did it just disappear? Unusually low. Well, gee, I wonder why. Probably because they've all been labeled as the CV, because that's what it turned into, because you guys made sure of that. All right, so let's see. Drug overdoses 2020. $841,000 people have died. Okay. 2019, 70,000 alone. But there is no 2020. Wait. But we'll talk about CV. Maybe the overdoses have vanished too. You know? Maybe we don't have to worry about drug overdoses anymore. But yeah. You go to Pittsburgh or Philadelphia, you can't find a corner without somebody either dead from it, or sleeping standing up from it, or all weird and like zombified because of it. But yeah, the CDC is not worried about that anymore, are they? Because this is all we got. Hang on. Up 30% 2020. Awesome. Not really. Let's check it out. See what it says. Does it actually give a number? 29% from the 72,000 deaths. Okay, so why aren't you... Okay, hang on. So we just saw that it was over 70,000 in 2019. Now it here says only 50,000. So Oh, and now it's less than the previous one we just read that literally said 70,000 in 2019. Now it's saying it's 50,000 and less than 70,000 for 2020. So we just proved their lies on their own page, because if I go back 2 pages, wait, this is the flu. Hang on. Hang on, did I go too far? Right here. 2019, 70,630 drug overdoses. That's 2019, right? And it's CDC, 2019, over 70,000. And then you go 2 pages forward. Where's it 1 page forward? Oh, this is it. See, right here it says 29 from 72,000. But then right here it says 50 to 69. So right here, I've proven that they're doing nothing but lying about statistics and everything. Right here, especially with the opioid crisis that we have in America, that has been worse than this pandemic since they created it at the beginning of it. But yeah, we hear nothing about this in our streets of the cities that literally are inundated and run over with complete opioid use that they have given them from the very top of our society, from our leaders. Literally, our leaders have given it to them. Oops. But yeah, we're not worried about that, are we? No, we're not worried about that. We're worried about this nonsensical crap right here. You know, supposedly a peak, but yeah, look here. Daily infections, daily deaths, and they just happen to be right at the same time everybody's shooting themselves up with it. You know? And it goes down when people stop. Because all these people up here either got over it because they shot themselves up with it, or they died because they shot themselves up with it. And you cannot find charts that have vaccinated with sickness and death versus non-vaccinated sickness and death. See, an average infection increased over the past 2 weeks, decreased. Okay, I'm curious. Because I was told our school was shut down. I'm in PA. I was told our school shut down because of a rise in infection. But here it says in the past 2 weeks. Decrease over the past 2 weeks. Average infections increase. Oh, wait, so it did increase. My bad. So it's saying it did increase. But yeah, when you want to know, like, you can't really see the statistics. But yeah, we know right here, December, January, right around before this area of every year, we do what? We inject ourselves with their experiments, right? No injection. They didn't really push it. It's okay because it's not flu season. And now, all of a sudden, it's rising again at the same. And look at every single chart. Every single rise, you will see. Oh, look, this don't even have any data through there. I wonder why. Every rise. They're all like almost identical. And this one's probably because they decided they didn't want to do it no more. So, but you can't find verses. You can't find the versus vaccinated versus non-vaccinated. But I did find this. Influenza vaccination increases inflammatory response by 173% and induces platelet activation and cardiac ambulance. Now, look at that. After, before. And this is the increase in sickness and death from taking it. Now, where was the... All right, here we go. Here's where we're at. Right there. Their actual webpage. Okay. Now, this is the active ingredients in these, right? Pfizer BioNTech. What's BioNTech? Let's find out. short for biopharmaceutical new technologies, is a German biotechnology company based in Mainz that develops and manufactures active immunotherapies for patient-specific approaches to the treatment of diseases. It develops pharmaceutical candidates based on messenger ribonucleic acid, mRNA, for use. Okay. Is it true? Okay, right here. Uses a fragment of messenger RNA. Okay. What? Oops. What is RNA? High efficiency in vitro transcription in a relatively short time using T7 RNA polymerase. Find protocols, technical support, blah, blah, blah. What is RNA? Ribonucleic acid. RNA. What is RNA? RNA biology. Let's begin with the basics. Deoxyribonucleic acid, which is DNA, is a molecule you may already be familiar with. It contains our genetic code, the blueprint of life. This essential molecule is found for the central dogma of biology. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Or the sequence of events necessary for life to function. Okay, necessary for life to function. DNA is a long double-stranded molecule, blah, 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 blah. Okay, now, located in, everybody knows what DNA is. Okay. To read these blueprints, the double helical DNA is unzipped to expose the individual strands, and an enzyme translates them into a model. Intermediate message called ribonucleic acid RNA. Okay, so the RNA is like the copy of the DNA. It is unzipped to expose the individual strands, and an enzyme translates them into a mobile intermediate message called RNA. So RNA is DNA become mobile in a message. This intermediate message is called messenger RNA. So it's a messenger DNA. And it carries the instructions for making protein. So it's literally, you're taking DNA, you're pretty much copying a DNA and making it and creating a message that you're going to put back into the DNA, which it's going to explain here, I'm pretty sure. The mRNA is then transported outside of the nucleus to the molecular machine responsible for manufacturing proteins and ribosome, which is the VAT2 gene, if I remember correctly. Here, the ribosome translates the mRNA using another three-letter word. I wonder what that three-letter word is. Every three base pairs designates the specific building block called an amino acid, of which there are 20, to create a polypeptide chain that will eventually become a protein. And I believe 20 is how many you have in a regular DNA. And if you have 21, it's like causes Down syndrome and such. Now, the ribosome assembles a protein in 3 steps. During initiation, the injection, the first step, transfer RNA brings the specific amino acid designated by the 3-letter code to the ribosome. 3-letter code. Weird. And could it be 666? The second step elongation. Each amino acid is sequentially connected by peptide bonds, forming a polypeptide chain. So literally, it creates its own DNA. The order each amino acid is crucial to the functionality of the future protein. So if they happen to create it to not properly function in the proper order, errors in adding an amino acid can result in disease. Finally, during termination, the completed polypeptide chain is released from the ribosome and is folded into its final protein state. Proteins are required for the structure, function, and regulation of the body's tissues and organs. Their functionality is seemingly endless. Throughout the latter half of the 20th century, we believe that RNA's primary role was to intermediate between DNA and protein, as we describe above. Over the last 3 decades, those long-held beliefs have been shattered. We have witnessed amazing discoveries with regards to RNA biology, many of which have come from our own labs here at the RTI. In 1998, Andrew Fire and the RTI's Craig Mello discovered RNA interference, in which double-stranded RNA can find and turn off specific genes based on certain sequences, order of the words. For this, they earned the Nobel Prize in 2006. To understand more about RNAi and learn how we are developing this tool into a therapeutic platform, please see what is RNAi. Interesting. So there you have it, folks. It's not going to change anything. No, not at all. It literally only opens up your DNA, inserts their own genetically made... Oh, it's a video.
The information age has launched a new frontier in scientific discovery. Revolutionary big data has inspired breakthroughs, such as the mapping of the human genome, that provide a new blueprint for understanding the human body and open new pathways to treat human disease.
In the brain.
Diseases like ALS, Huntington's, diabetes, cancer, and infectious diseases like HIV. Key to this revolution was Craig Mello of UMass Medical School and Andrew Fire of the Carnegie Institution, discovering how to use the flow of genetic information to treat the root cause of disease. Known as RNA interference, this discovery earned Mello and Fire a Nobel Prize in 2006 and set off a burst of research and commercialization that energized and transformed the burgeoning field of RNA-based therapeutics.
Let's go back. RNA interference. No, we're not going to do anything to your DNA. We're just going to interfere with it.
A Nobel
with our own
Prize in
made.
2006 and set off a burst of research and commercialization that energized and transformed the burgeoning field of RNA-based therapy.
CRISPR, which is literally genetic change. What else? I don't know. Alnylam, Moderna,
And commercialization
CRISPR,
that energized and transformed the burgeoning field of RNA-based therapeutics. To better understand genetic disease, it's important to remember that genes are the subunit of DNA. Genes contain instructions used to produce proteins. RNA delivers these instructions to factories in the cell where proteins are manufactured. And then proteins serve as the basis of our body structures.
So they take the DNA, turn it into this, play with it, and then they give it to us. And then our bodies are like, yeah, let's produce the crap out of this. It's not curing you from anything. It's not producing antibodies. It's literally designed to wreak havoc. And right here is a little to show you how.
Delivers these instructions to factories in the cell where proteins are manufactured. And then proteins serve as the basis of our body's structures, such as bone, tissues, muscles, and the brain.
Which is all the things it's causing side effects in when you take their VC.
Many diseases are caused by a defective gene that creates a problem in the protein production process. The result might be a non-functional protein, a toxic protein, or too much or too little of a protein, resulting in disease. Think of a leaking faucet that pulls water on your new hardwood floor. That pool of water is disease. And traditional medicine is a mop that soaks up water every day. The mop addresses the symptom, but it hasn't actually fixed the problem at its source. Some diseases are undruggable, so there is no mop. Now imagine having a set of tools that can turn the valve off or cut and replace a defective piece of pipe. And still
Cut and replace a defective piece of pipe. You know, in us, their defectiveness, what they see as defective is the VAT2 gene, which is what gives us our ability of free will to actually think for ourselves and come to a conclusion or a reason instead of just following whatever somebody that is an authority figure tells us. The only one we should be listening to is the one that created us to begin with. And they're trying to get rid of it. They're trying to get rid of the God gene in us, which is the VAT2 gene.
another set of tools that can turn the faucet on to fight a different disease where the water is not flowing but is
Yeah, turn it on. Not to fight a different disease, but to create one.
needed. Researchers now have the advanced therapeutic tools to attack disease at its genetic roots. By directly targeting either the RNA or disease-causing genes themselves, these tools can silence or activate the production of proteins.
But the RNA, why would they go after the RNA when they're the ones that created the RNA? Our bodies don't create RNA. They created RNA. So why would they be attacking the RNA if our bodies don't even create RNA? Oh, wait, yeah, I know. Because, like, they created the disease through the RNA.
These tools can silence or activate the production of protein.
Silence or activate the production of protein. Kind of like they're doing with our media and stuff today, huh? They're silencing the truth. They're activating the devil. They're calling good evil, evil good. They're doing it even on our genetic level.
Edit a defective gene or RNA.
Edit a defective gene or RNA. Which is strange that they're saying or RNA when the RNA is what they are creating by taking a copy of our DNA.
Or replace a defective gene
Or
RNA.
replace. There's CRISPR for you. We'll replace your defective gene with our own.
One that is functional. We are applying the latest innovations in science and technology, including RNA interference, CRISPR-Cas9, and other gene therapy breakthroughs to revolutionize patient care.
CRISPR-Cas9. Wait, what's this?
With the greatest collection.
Hang on. What is RNA? Let's go back to this. An enzyme translates them into a mobile intermediate message called RNA. So there's an enzyme that translates the DNA into RNA. So yeah, they're taking from the DNA and creating RNA with some kind of enzyme that they're not specifying. Okay. Oh, what was it they just said that I wanted to look up? Hang on. No.
Collection of therapy breakthroughs to revolutionize patient.
CRISPR-Cas9. Genome editing with CRISPR. How CRISPR lets us edit our DNA. How CRISPR lets you edit DNA. Genome editing techniques. CRISPR Cas9. Okay, so obviously CRISPR's editing your gene. But yeah, they say that which RNA is a biotech that's being used in the Pfizer, which they're claiming does not change or cannot change your DNA. But yet here, RNA-based therapeutics,
care.
we have
And other gene therapy.
RNA interference. Let's go RNA interference. Let's see what that says.
Is a natural process of gene silencing that regulates gene expression. The discovery of RNAi was a revolutionary breakthrough and was awarded the 2006 Nobel Prize for Physiology or Medicine. Gene transcription begins in the cell nucleus, where messenger RNA, or mRNA, is produced from a double-stranded DNA template. The mRNA then travels into the cytoplasm, where ribosomes translate mRNA into proteins. Proteins mediate all cellular processes in both the normal and disease setting.
So they're literally copying our DNA and creating RNA, which is a mimic of our own genetic code. And then they run it through this thing to make it seem just like our own DNA. Including those causing diseases.
With certain proteins involved in the cause or pathway of disease. To date, disease-causing proteins have been the target of conventional therapies, such as small molecules and antibodies.
Well, look at all this coming off.
The RNAi mechanism enables the transient and selective silencing of any gene by targeting mRNA for degradation, hence preventing the expression of proteins and their function in disease. Alnylam is developing a potential new class of therapeutics, harnessing the function of small interfering RNA, or siRNA, the molecules that mediate RNAi. By chemically synthesizing and administering gene-specific siRNA molecules, Alnylam can harness the natural RNAi process to direct gene silencing, potentially representing a new frontier for treating disease.
Direct gene silencing. But yet the only thing they're silencing is the truth.
An siRNA is a short oligonucleotide duplex with a sequence complementary to the target mRNA. An siRNA forms a protein-RNA complex called the RNA-induced silencing complex, RISC, causing the siRNA to unwind, leading to the complementary functional strand being loaded into RISC. The sequence of the functional strand of siRNA directs the RISC complex to the targeted mRNA. The RISC complex degrades the mRNA, stopping the synthesis of the specific protein encoded by that mRNA, reducing unwanted gene expression. Furthermore, the functional strand-loaded RISC can target more copies of the same mRNA and destroy them. Thus, the actions of an siRNA are catalytic. RNA interference is a novel and innovative approach to specifically target and silence any gene that drives disease, including those that can't be targeted by other, more conventional therapeutic approaches.
But yet, we're all dying from many, many diseases. The least of all is our new pandemic, which was created by them. Crazy, huh? They can supposedly silence all these bad genes, But yeah, we're all still dying from all these diseases.
Alnylam is leading the translation of RNAi into an innovative new class of medicines. Our robust pipeline of investigational RNAi therapeutics is focused on diseases with high unmet medical need that fall into 4 strategic therapeutic areas: genetic diseases, cardiometabolic disease, hepatic infectious diseases, and CNS and ocular diseases.
But yeah, all of those things are still really, really high out there and have not been cured nor fixed nor prevented at all. Instead, we're living during a pandemic that's shutting down the world and bringing the Antichrist. Fascinating. Okay, so there's how we interfere and change in all of our genetics here. And this is what we have in our jabs.
Breakthroughs to revolutionize patient care. With the greatest collection of RNA scientists and one of the world's leading gene therapy centers, UMass Medical School is at the forefront of converting new
What they call gene therapy, it's really gene editing, as I've been showing you here.
Genetic information into promising pathways for treating human disease.
Yep, we're all still dying from it. Well, here's where it proves that, this was from influenza, which seemed to fall off the face of the earth when the new pandemic came about. Okay, here we go. Now, we've already read about RNA, DNA. Look, this is what it's biotech, what you're injecting yourself with. mRNA encoded with viral spike glycoprotein of SARS-CoV-2. Right here. They're giving it to you. It says it right freaking here, and I just showed you a video that explains what this is. What it does. It literally makes itself look as your DNA and infects your body. Okay. Same with this one. mRNA encoded with the same thing. This one, which I've never even heard of. Replication incompetent vector encoded, same thing. Inactive ingredients. So this is active. See right here, active ingredients. There you go. But this is this, yeah, okay. Inactive polyethylene glycol, which is the stuff that is causing problems. Non-active, this stuff. Cholesterol, non-active, this stuff. Non-active sodium. Da 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 da. Okay. So this is all just put in there to keep this alive. That's the only reason these are in there, is to keep this alive inside of us. Or it's alive until they get it inside of us, where it can infect our own proteins. It doesn't contain eggs, da 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 da, preservatives. Free from metals, yeah, because we're all worried about that. Contain polyethylene glycol, which is not something you want to really put in yourself, especially if they created it. Primary ingredient to osmotic laxatives and oral bowel preparations for colonoscopy procedures. So it's going to help you get the sharts. An inactive ingredient or inexpedient in medications is used to process called pagylation to improve the therapeutic. What's pagylation? Let's look that up. Pagylation or pagylation. In many medication is used in a process called to improve the therapeutic activity of some medicines. Process of both covalent and non-covalent attachment. What is it targeting? Gelatin nanocarries. Targeted drug delivery for cancer therapy. is a process through which polyethylene glycol, which we just read is in it, chains are conjugated to proteins, therapeutic proteins, peptides, or any molecule. Through process, the molecular mass of the therapeutic is increased. So this is put in there to help increase what they're injecting, the virus, so it can survive and mutate and grow. Active. Bless me. To a delivery system. Dang. 9L particle. Studies have shown that of targeted drug delivery may decrease clearance and enhance delivery of peptide and protein molecules. Okay, what's the purpose? Will that give us the answer we're looking for? Drug solubility and decreases immunogenicity. What? Improves drug solubility and decreases immunogenicity. Also increases drug stability and the retention time of conjunctates in blood. And reduces proteolysis and renal excretion. And reduces, thereby allowing a reduced dosing frequency. So it like helps it live and thrive, but at the same time it helps it go in like a slow pace. Reactions to it. Let's see. Is a process of both covalent and non-covalent attachments or amalgamation of polyethylene glycol, PEG, in pharmacy called macrogol. Polymer chains to molecules and macrostructures such as a drug, therapeutic protein, or vessel, which is inscribed. This isn't helping. Why is it added to drugs? Okay. Is widely utilized in drug delivery and nanotechnology. Nanotechnology. Due to its reported stealth properties and biocompatibility. It is generally thought that the pegylation allows particulate delivery systems and biomaterials to evade the immune system and thereby prolong circulation lifetimes. Nanotechnology, but yet they're not shoving nanotechnology. They're not using nanotechnology. This isn't trying to change who we are. It ain't trying to change our genetics. Not at all. But here, okay, PEG is a primary ingredient in osmotic laxatives. Really? That's awful funny because what we just read is it helps y'all change stuff. And oral bowel preparations for colonoscopy, an inactive ingredient or expedient to improve therapeutic medicines, including whatever. Alright, so characteristics. Allergic reactions, vasovagal reaction, vaccine side effects. Okay, what's vasovagal reaction? Let's see, because I'm curious. No. Okay. Syncope occurs when a part of your nervous system that regulates heart rate and blood pressure malfunctions in response to a trigger. What causes it? Most common cause of fainting. It happens when the blood vessels open too wide and or the heartbeat slows, causing a temporary lack of blood flow to the brain. Maybe that's why I saw two ladies collapse. well, saw the first one literally right in front of my face, and the second one she definitely did. It's generally not a dangerous condition. To prevent fainting, stay out of hot places and don't stand for long periods. And don't subject yourself to science. Okay. What happens during this? Central nervous system, brain, spinal cord. Peripheral nervous system. And cardiovascular system. Reflex is triggered. It causes your blood pressure to heart rate to drop suddenly. Almost like it's killing you. Okay, so now, anaphylaxis. We all know what that is. We know what this is now. It's where your brain and your blood and stuff slows down so much you faint. And then side effects, local anesthetic. Okay, timing after vaccination. Most occur within 15 to 30 minutes. Yep, I've seen that. Within 15 minutes. Median of 1 to 3 days after, with most occurring the day after. Feeling of, oh, these are signs and symptoms, by the way. Feeling of impending doom. Well, yeah, because you just shot yourself up a Lucifer sperm. Of course you're going to feel some doom. Feeling warm or cold. Fever, chills, fatigue. There's one thing, skin symptoms present in 90% of people with anaphylaxis, including whatever. I don't know. Flushing. Another thing I've noticed too is pale. Everybody's turning like albino pale from this. Pallor, diaphoresis, clammy skin, sensation of facial warmth, pain, arrhythmia, swelling at injection, lymphadenopathy. So that's something wrong with the lymph nodes. And same arm as that. Neurologic problems, confusion, disorientation, dizziness, lightheadedness, weakness, loss of consciousness, dizziness, lightheadedness, syncope, often after prodromal symptoms are a few seconds or minutes. Weakness, change in vision, such as spots of flickering lights, tunnel vision, changes in hearing. Another thing too, people, it's had it. They are getting to where they can't stand the light. Headache. See, look, local and systematic. But that, look down here. Neurological, headache, dizziness, all this. Respiratory, it's not available. We got shortness of breath, wheezing, bronchospasms, stridor, hypoxia. Variable if accompanied by anxiety, might have an elevated respiratory rate. We don't know. But yeah, we're doing studies on it, but we don't know. Hypotension, tachycardia. Variable might have hypotension or bradycardia during syncopal event. In other words, you're going to have a heart attack, but it's not available. Gastrointestinal, nausea, vomiting, abdominal cramps, diarrhea. Diarrhea. Nausea, vomiting, diarrhea may occur. Yeah, because all that crap you're putting into it. Now, here's funny. Musculoskeletal. Nothing's available. But over here we got myalgia, arthralgia. But yeah, with all, it's like, it's okay. It's alright, just shoot yourself up with it. It's okay. Oh, okay, appendix. Contradiction to history. Severe allergic reaction after a previous dose or to a component of the immediate allergic reaction of any severity after a previous dose or known. Allergy to a component of, precaution to, among people without a contradiction, a history of, may proceed with among people with a contradiction or precaution, a history of this stuff. It's like crazy, guys. They're telling you that this stuff is not dangerous. They're telling you it's not genetically changing you. They're telling you that it's just a medication, but it's literally CRISPR on steroids. Literally CRISPR on steroids. And this dude here is waging war against those who refuse to subject themselves to it. You know, and it's like they're so worried about this, but yeah. Yep, this is today. 1 hour ago. 1 hour ago, guys. This is what America's become. But they want but they want you to worry about, you know, they want you to worry about other things. You know, this poor lady is like literally dead walking. Right now. Right now. Right flipping now. In Philadelphia. You know? Look, but nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. It's okay. We ain't worried about that, are we? No, we're not worried about that. Because we're so worried about this lie. Really? You're worried about children 12 and under from this crap? But yeah, I bet you if you watch that video long enough, you'll probably see a teenage girl or a boy on the streets right along with them. With a cop 2 blocks down watching it take place because he just gave them the bag they're using. The same people that created this is the same people pushing this. It's insanity that people actually believe in. Look at it. She's in the freaking road. She's in the road. They're worried about... Seriously? Seriously? They're worried about us not wearing diaper faces. But yeah, this is the real problem in America, people. The epidemic of drugs and sex slavery and prostitution and just all out they've pushed on us all these years. So we become such a poor society. Look, that dude's probably dead. And this is what they want. This is what they want of us. All of us. Don't listen to them. Don't trust them, because if you do, what you're seeing right here in this video will be the least of your worries. This is just the beginning. These are the docile. They don't want us to be docile anymore. They're giving these people what they want to get rid of them. They want us to follow them with their new drugs that they're telling us is going to save us from a pandemic that they've planned and created this whole time. Look, right in the open, that's a syringe. He already can't stand his stuff, but he's got a syringe ready to go again. And right here in broad daylight, right in our own state, given to him by our own governors, created by our scientists, given by our rulers. Look, and nobody cares. They're following the pandemic, injecting themselves with death, literally. And they're calling it a breakthrough, and they're calling it a cure, and they're calling it a miracle. Does this look like a miracle to you guys? Does this look like a miracle to you? Because it sure as hell doesn't look like anything that's called a miracle to me. It's literally hell on earth. All those places who follow the Antichrist will be turned into hell. And this is just the beginning. This isn't even as close to what it's going to become, guys. This is just the beginning. And everybody pretends it doesn't exist. And they tell me I should put a diaper on my child's face, when literally you can drive a couple hours away and see all of this. They're not worried about. Literally, people dead in the broad daylight on the streets from the drug overdoses of the drugs that they gave them. And they're worried about us. They're worried about us. Why? Oh yeah, I know. Because we're not like this. We have not subjected ourselves to become this. We have a brain, we have life inside of us. And they don't like it. It's just so sad. I don't know what to say, guys, other than just the war on God's children has begun. They've already taken care of all their major cities, as you can tell. I guarantee it's like all... Let's see. See, these people look like they've actually been misplaced, but look. They just let them live on the streets. They're not helping them. They're not being there for them. So they feel they have no other choice but to stand on the corner. It's crazy. And they're telling us that we need to comply to what they say, when this is what they should be worried about. This is what they should be dealing with. This epidemic. But they don't care, because it's not part of their narrative. It's not part of their narrative. They don't care. They don't care. It's coming, guys. It's going to get worse. We're going to start seeing way more problems than we have before. Especially with the fact of our own president saying that those who actually truly trust in the one true God are the reason that the pandemic is happening, while they completely disregard millions of people that they have destroyed by allowing their abominations that they've created, not only given it to the people, they created it to give to the people to cause this inevitable end. That's it. I don't know what to say other than you need to be saved and know Him and His voice, or this is what you're going to become. Take care. God bless. Godspeed. Till next time.